So, welcome back to the Soccer Ladder. We have John Davis here with us today. John is the co-founder of ULETE. It's one of the top multi-sport performance centers in the country. It's located in South Lake, Texas. Do I have that
Texas.
correct?
That's correct. Yep.
You and your dad started ULETE. It's a family-run business. You started it from the ground up. So we look forward to hearing about your story and what all you guys do. So, just so you know a little bit about us, I'm a soccer mom. Liam's going into his second year with Red Bull Academy. And I basically started the soccer ladder because it's an amazing journey, but it's such an unknown journey with so many questions. And it's awesome to have people, on like you, some of your coaches we've had on. We've had on former pro players, coaches. So it's great to get all these insights and tips that help so many parents and kids along the way.
So, you and your dad created You Elite together. What inspired you to build something like this in South Lake?
Yeah, great question, Liam. So it's pronounced ULETE, and it means the athlete in you. And you got it well. The How it all really happened is pretty crazy. So my background has been in the entertainment, sports, media, brand building space for well over 20 years, and I've traveled around the world, worked with a lot of top athletes everywhere, and I had a very busy life going on, and it was in 2018. I just felt a prompting from God on my heart to be available locally. So I responded to that. And in 2020, the land came up for sale. It was crazy obvious we're supposed to buy it. And what you see behind me, Elite, was literally a vision that was a picture that was placed in my head, like what this whole facility turned out to be, the indoors, the outdoors. And I just learned over the years, if God really prompts your heart, you got to respond. And then the results of responding, uh, you see some cool things happen.
So, what all does ULEAT offer?
So ULETE is a multi-sport facility. We focus on soccer, futsal, baseball, lacrosse, softball. And our primary leaders are really soccer and futsal, which soccer has been my passion sport for my whole life.
I love that.
Did
So,
you play?
I did, yes. Now I'm going to say, like, how you all play today is not how we played years ago. What's incredible about the growth and the evolution of the sport, and I'd say sports in general, is that kids they have so many more resources available to them today, and the mindset and the play and the mastery and the skills has grown tremendously. So I grew up playing in Arlington, Texas, what was basically a cow pasture that was mowed, and they put down lines, put down goals, and we had stickers in the field. And so what the kids have today is not what we had back then. And but I did go on to play through my years, high school, and in college.
oh wow, that
Wow.
is awesome.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment. So, ULEAT is family owned and run. How has working with your father shaped the culture of the facility?
So I am a third generation business entrepreneur, and I learned a lot from my grandfather, learned a lot from my father. And the one thing that my parents always did, and my grandfather did, was they made customers a priority, and they made the experience a priority. So yesterday we had over 400 people in here for Elite FC for our signing party. This place was just packed. We had kids here, families here, food truck outside. We actually brought in like a basketball hoop. But what's important is in business and what I've learned from my father, it's about culture and creating an environment and an experience. And so anytime that we do anything, we want to do it with full excellence and make sure that everybody feels like they are getting more than they're ever paying for.
Oh, yeah, that's so
Yeah.
important. I love that. And I should mention real quick. So, we had on Alex and Libor.
Love those guys.
Gosh, aren't they cool? They're
Yes.
so cool. And they actually coach or train at your facility. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Before we opened up, I was actually introduced to Alex and Libor, and when I met them, and I was actually talking to a number of skills trainers all throughout Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I was quietly sitting back and observing. People didn't even realize I was at their training sessions to just sort of watch what they were doing. And I had a chance to meet them. I went and observed them, and then I approached them and talked to them. And it was neat to see their level of their excellence that they were wanting to bring to everything they do. I saw and experienced over the years that there were many trainers. My son was a baseball player, and my youngest is a soccer player. My middle is a dancer. And so I just saw over the years how we paid a lot of people a tremendous amount of money, and I always felt like we were getting about 60 to 70% of them. Sometimes they're on their phone, sometimes they're not actively engaged. And what I loved about Alex and Libor was these guys are 100% intensity from beginning to end. So you as a parent feel like you're getting the very best of them. And that's a standard that I loved, and that's why we started talking about a deeper level of commitment to each other about being at ULETE.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were very impressed by them.
Hmm.
Not just their background, but their personalities and their love for the game as well. Very cool. So you kind of just touched on this, but what do you think makes a great coach, and how do you find the right coaches for you, Lee?
See a lot of coaches that stand around, so that's off my list as far as a great coach. I love coaches who are actively engaged, actively involved in the practices, the skills, the strategy. Um, I love it when coaches have their philosophy, their style, and then they're teaching the kids. I love coaches, like I have two daughters, so I love it when coaches understand what it means to coach a female athlete. They know how to communicate with them properly, because very easily a what can be said can be received very differently. So it's important to me that whether it's a male coach or a female coach, they understand who they're coaching. They understand the level that they're at, understanding the mindset of where the kids are and where do they want to get to. And so to me, it's a well packaged process to who our coaches are.
You got to take the time to get the right people.
Yeah.
You do quality.
What role do recovery, nutrition, and mental awareness play at ULETE?
Nutrition, sleep, all those things, recovery, extremely important. We have ChiroFit on site. ChiroFit is a Dr. Jack is much more than a chiropractor. He understands muscles, tendons, ligaments, worked with some of the top athletes in the entire world, has a large practice out of Los Angeles, and is now here at ULETE. We encourage the athletes to eat healthy. We have prepackaged snacks here at ULETE. We don't have a concessions, traditional concessions set up. And the snacks aren't all perfect, right? But we want to be able to offer protein bars, nuts, fruits, different things that in sports nutrition drinks that give at least options of better than just the worst options. So we encourage that.
As a parent, I love that.
And then, of course, rest. Rest is really important. And watching a documentary on Ronaldo was really cool, where you just saw how much rest he puts into keeping his body healthy. So I encourage, although I don't do a great job of getting rest as much these days, I'm busy, but I do encourage our daughter and my son and our and other athletes to also get a good amount of rest, because that's how the body also recovers.
We had on Michael Bradley a couple weeks ago. He just, you could tell he just fully committed, and that's like to the holistic approach of recovery and rest and nutrition and, doing all the right things that really, I think, set up his success and
Yeah.
the longevity of his careers. And then after we did that interview, we had athletes say, oh, yeah, Michael Bradley was like fully committed to that holistic approach. So Liam plays for Red Bull Academy, as I mentioned, always working on decision making and awareness. How does ULETE help soccer players get better at the mental side of the game?
What we have done is we have implemented futsal here at ULETE. And in the very back, we actually have a futsal court. Our executive director is Pablo da Silva, and Pablo is from Brazil, grew up playing futsal, was brought on by the U.S. national team to help them build the junior, the youth futsal national team, and then train with the top team as well. So as far as his background and what we want the athletes to be able to have as far as mental preparedness to be able to handle themselves in a tight 1v1 situation, 1v2, 1v3, scanning, being aware. I think the more confident of an athlete of you are in tight and difficult situations and be able to make decisions leads to more confidence. So our goal is to be able to build really incredibly talented athletes who have the ability to scan, make quick decisions, understand the methodology that Pablo loves, the Brazilian style, playing out of the back, working your way up, moving the ball um, in triangles, and just giving them more opportunities to develop as a better athlete, which leads to the confidence, which leads to, I think, stronger mental awareness.
I agree
Yeah.
with that. Do you agree with that, Lee?
Yep.
And you play futsal as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and doesn't it make you just like a faster,
Quicker.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a quick game. It's incredible. Then that really translates to the open field of the game of soccer.
Do you work with club or academy players, and how do you help them navigate development without burning out?
So we have both academy and select teams here at Elite, but we also work with a lot of the other clubs in the area who have academy and select kids. And what was that part of you about the burnout? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question, right? Because you see a lot of kids that drop out in the ages 12 to 13 because of coaches or parents and we have a lot of friends who have very high level performing athletes in all sports, not just soccer, but let's talk soccer specific. And what happens is we see them get to high school, full ride female, incredible soccer athletes get full ride scholarships, and they just say, I'm done. And so seeing that at the middle school to the early high school to the late high school years to prevent burnout, I believe that it is important to have other outlets. Those other outlets could be you're playing, if you're a soccer player, you're playing rec volleyball, rec flag football, basketball, just other things that just give you a chance to relax and play and not feel that high intensity that you bring or coaches or families or anybody expects at the soccer level if that's your main sport. You just have to have an outlet. And I've seen in my own daughter where I would say about a year and a half ago, before we really started building some new opportunities for her life, she was experiencing, I lost that spark, that fun inside of her game. And that was concerning for my wife and I. We really talked about it a lot. And we just realized, you know what? Soccer's her passion. We're going to help her get to where she wants to get with her goals, but let's go out and play some other fun sports. So if the schedule comes down to, hey, we got to choose between futsal or volleyball or soccer or volleyball, we're still going to stay focused on what our commitment is for her, but we definitely make sure that she's getting to do those other things that she loves to try and do because then she just relaxes. She relaxes. She has fun with friends and she doesn't feel the pressure.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially with the amount of pressure on these kids younger and younger, and they're, traveling more and they want to do all the private training, etc. Yeah, that's one thing we try and do with Lee. We try and let you have your one day with friends because a lot of training other than that, and then golf.
Golf.
And he just said he wants to try, was it rec basketball?
Rec basketball with my friends.
In seventh grade. So we're going to try that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the game of basketball and you look at the game of futsal, and they're playing on a court, and you're playing 5v5, and the way that the game moves and the way that the players respond to each other, the pressure situations, those translate really well. So I do think getting to go play basketball for fun. My daughter loves basketball. She's 12 years of age. Yeah, and she loves and when we see her out there on the court, we're like, where did this kid come from? Her aggressiveness, her fun. She's relaxed. She's having fun. And then I do think that translates over.
What kind of exposure opportunities does ULETE give soccer players who want to play in college or maybe even go pro?
So we are in the process. Elite's been open for under a year and a half, and what like you mentioned, Alex and Libor. At this point, I'd say on the professional level, it is Pablo da Silva, Andre Lima, Alex and Libor, those that have those large international relationships, we're utilizing those opportunities to make connection points, create exposure opportunities, get them real tryouts, taking futsal teams nationally and internationally to be able to be seen. And then on the soccer level, yeah, and then right now on the soccer level, I'm building some very specific relationships where I have friends that are, whether they're presidents or owners of very high level professional clubs here in the US or internationally, we're bridging some unique opportunities that'll be coming for players in the future.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you're surrounded by great talent with like Alex and Libor and your futsal coach and
Yeah.
Yeah, in our background, we were able to produce and work with some very high performing professional athletes for many years in the television world and the big brand world. So I'm also utilizing many of those friendship relationships. They reach out to me, I reach out to them. So we're connecting some dots that are extremely unique that I don't. I think they're going to be game changers for athletes in the future. And so we're looking forward to unfolding and unveiling what those things look like.
well, as I told Alex and Libor, we told him, we want to get Liam down to the training
Oh yeah.
facility whenever he has some time in the schedule, but we'd love to come down. That's awesome.
Please do.
I'm going to ask my question, and then Liam just has some like rapid fire questions that we'll end with. So, there's so much pressure on young athletes to get seen. What advice would you give to families trying to navigate showcase, ID camps, and recruiting?
Okay, two pieces of advice I'd give. Number one, you got to stand out from the crowd. What makes you unique and different? Sometimes it's physical appearance. It could be the swagger. It could be the way that you approach the field. You just have to stand out. Something about the you has to be unique. The second thing I would say, and I think this translates for all sports, is that every single coach, every single team, they're not looking for a team to bring to their team. They're looking for individual players. They're looking for an athlete that has something that fits what their need is. So you need to, in my opinion, it's best to be able to have your strongest position, make sure that's clearly understood, and have your second or third positional opportunities that could be what a coach or a team or a club is looking for. Because you want to be able to give them plenty of options when they look at you as an athlete. Number one, from a, let's say, what causes you to stand out, because that's a brand building opportunity, especially with NIL deals. But then secondly, how can you perform for the team and generate results? So giving coaches, clubs options. Those are the two best pieces of advice I could probably give.
That is solid advice. We had several athletes on with us that said they initially started in one position, and then when they
Move
got
to
to
another.
their, yeah, when they got to Bundesliga and or on the national team, that coach moved them to another position and said, "This is where you're going to play." And
Oh, we loved it.
yeah, and that's where they, shined and excelled and got all their awards. And so that's great advice. I love that.
All right. What is your favorite pro soccer team?
Right now, it is Angel City because Kennedy Fuller is from Southlake, Texas, and we are huge Kennedy Fuller fans. Her family lives here. Yep, we went out to watch their opening game. So we're Angel City all the way.
One skill every player should master.
Ooh, a skill that every player should. I feel like these days, it's very important to be able to scan. Scanning, understanding where you are in the field in relation to your players, who you're playing against, knowing where the open space is, being able to be read, to be able to feed somebody the ball, be fed the ball, move the ball up. You got to know where you are on the field, and you got to understand the ball, and you got to understand what your strategy is. So if you're scanning and you're aware, I think you're going to play well.
Love that.
Yeah. Messi or Ronaldo?
I would say Messi because I'm 5'8". I like his height. He just dominates worldwide. So to me, there's a lot of people out there like, oh, it's all about height, height, height. To me, it's not about height. It's about skill. It's about talent. And so I don't care how tall you are. It's how good are you. So I think he has proven to the world that it has nothing to do with height.
He
Yeah.
sure has.
Best advice you've ever gotten in sports?
Oh my goodness, best advice I've ever gotten. You're only going to be able to play your game for so long. There's going to be a day when a coach, a team, a trainer, an injury, something's going to happen that's going to keep you from being able to play the sport that you love. So long as you're playing it, enjoy it. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, because there is a day when something's going to say it's over.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh man, that's solid advice.
If you could train with any pro athlete for a day, who would it be?
I would choose Christian Pulisic. I like who he is as a person. Um, we got to meet his family and chat for a little while. I like who his family is, how tight knit they are, and just everything about that person, about him, just to me rings quality. So I'd love to be able to just spend time with him and to train with him, and then have my daughter meet him again to be able to train with him.
They just seem like such quality and nice people.
Very down to earth, very authentic.
With that, we've run out of time. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to have you on, and your facility is so impressive. I hope we have a chance to get down there.
Yes.
Please do, please come. We got a lot of space and we got a lot of great stuff happening.
We're going to link everything, your facility, in our bio and when we do our posts and everything. But again, you lead in South Lake, Texas.
That's right. We'll hopefully see you guys here soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a blessed day.
Okay, you too. Bye
Bye.
bye.